plays the most.
Yes.
So I'm really expecting a specific strategy designed for this map against this team. That's what I'm really looking for when I look at Leftovers. The frightening part of this is, if Leftovers actually have something prepared for this map, where they are going to win this one, that is a massive, massive blow against Granit Gaming, because not only did you lose game number 1, you also would have lost on your best map after that, and that would be terrifying. So if Leftovers really came up with a strategy where they can shut Granit Gaming down on Dragonshire, even though it's a bad map for themselves, that would be... I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of Granit Gaming at that point.
I would agree. That would be a rough scenario to be in, but they also are learning. The best thing about Best of 7 is you see the evolution of the draft come in very quickly. That Maiev was very dangerous, even with a containment disc. Not even the hard team fighting, just the isolation comp. They're not happy with that. They removed the Maiev very quickly. And Leftovers, they're now stuck in a situation. Is Samuro good here? Is this the... Do we ban him out again? Or is there something else that's a higher priority? And they are thinking it could be that Malfurion.
I mean, Malfurion is one of the best heroes for Granit Gaming. I mean, just in general, Malfurion is fantastic, but this is definitely one of the heroes you want to try and take away from your opponent. There has been a high priority in the past for Granit Gaming to get him early. I was still a bit surprised that the ban happened this late. That they didn't have a snap ban available where they said, okay, this is what we're going to do. And that's
Considering
also...
they picked the map.
Exactly, they picked the map. And again, they didn't just pick any map. They picked a bad map for themselves and a great map for the opponent. So, once more, I'm expecting a strategy that has been planned out for this specific battleground. And so far, I'm not seeing any indication that that's actually the case, because normally when that happens, is you have snap early picks. Yeah,
you know what you're doing in that kind of situation. And in this case, they're taking a very long time. They did say in that pre-match video, they have practiced a lot of maps and immediately Tracer Stukov. So this is looking fairly normal. With Malfurion banned away themselves, they just didn't want to play against Malfurion, even though it would have been perfect for them. And there is Kura's Samuro. They prioritize it, don't care about the map. It's hard to deal with. So an insta-lock-in and Uther to go with it. That I quite like.
Yeah, Uther, I feel, is also a lot of Hanzo protection now. You already have on the other side Tracer coming into play. So you have the stun against Tracer now. You have also the... just like the survivability for Hanzo that you will need. Because what's going to happen here is that Leftovers is going to try and run the DAB show. And that show has been pretty fun to watch.
It's been sold out.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Constant shows every week.
It's hard to get tickets. It's really hard to get tickets.
I heard there was going for a Matinee, looked all gone. But we do see the Phoenix banned out as well, removing extra assassin potential. But another good thing about this Uther, if he goes Silver Touch, if that's the strategy he wants to go for, which with a Samuro could make a lot of sense, but you can get value from the Holy Radiance build. But Silver Touch, you're going to be stacked really quickly. When you're against a Tracer, you get those stacks.
And we said it before. Granit Gaming played 5 games with Samuro, and they only lost a single one. Yeah. So we have seen Samuro in HGC as well. There was like a week, 2 weekends roughly, where teams were starting to play him a lot more. And then after a while, at first people banned it out, and then they realized, well, okay, we have to practice this a bit in scrims. How do we deal with that? And they usually kind of found a way to say, okay, we know how to shut that down now. So I would expect Leftovers to at least have a bit of an idea how to deal with it, maybe more so than the open division teams that Granit Gaming went up against in the past. So this should be a little bit more difficult to make Samuro work, but he can, as you said before, still be a terrifying tool.
Tassadar, Garrosh. Well, everything just kind of synergizes here for Leftovers. This is going to be hard for Granit to deal with. Shields on Tracer with that leeching plasma, hard to get through. The extra shielding on Garrosh with his armor, hard to get through. They need, even with Hanzo and Samuro, unless you're only punishing Stukov, you're really running out of options in terms of actually killing someone.
Yes, Leftovers have one theoretical problem in the late game, and that's macro game.
Yes.
Especially once that Samuro hits his 10 and then his 20.
Master all over them chop.
Exactly. You can really just dominate the macro aspect of the map. This is why for the last pick, I could definitely see something that targets that. That you, for example, bring the Haka in again, where you have a global where you can at least to an extent react. But also, with this setup that they're running right now, they can really try and put early on pressure against the Samuro team. And once that they run with an advantage and build up momentum, it's difficult for Granit Gaming to get back into it. Unless they have now The Zeratul is an interesting touch here. The Muradin doesn't really convince me at this point, but Zeratul is actually an interesting game changer for this.
The Zeratul adds the burst. I was concerned how they were going to kill anyone. A lot of leftover survivability comes down to reaction time. Zeratul can really shut that down. Big AoE burst with the cleave build, even the potential for the Might of Nerazim build and just get that insta blow up style on a single target, which you can get stuck off. That's game changing. That is potentially game over.
Tassadar is someone that I'm worried about. We talk a lot about how much Tassadar adds to a draft, especially with Tracer. But as you said, he's very, very squishy. His hit point pool has been targeted in the past by nerfs, and he explodes very, very quickly.
Oh, here we go. The Chen coming in as the solo laner. Someone to meet the Samuro. Samuro, look at the crowd control. Uther, point blank. Muradin, fair enough, but that's a pretty good rotation. And of course, Dragon's Arrow, you have very few stuns and basically no percentage damage to deal with that Chen and 0 shield breaking potential.
And it's difficult for Granit Gaming to get kills. They have to be on point with their coordination. With Hanzo, you get the poke. You can also lead with an arrow. But, I mean, who do you have to target? Basically, killing Tracer is going to be very, very rough. Even with Zeratul following her, it's going to be very difficult to get Tracer down because DAB is great on the hero. He is going to escape. So the two hero breaking through Chen, through Garrosh is going to be difficult when there's still a 5-man fight happening if you don't set up a gank. So the two targets that you're looking for are either Stukov or you're looking for Tassadar. And that could be terrifying here. I'm pretty hyped for this, but I think right now leftovers are looking strong. Everything has to be absolutely on point for Granit Gaming if you want to make this work.
I am looking at this, and the only mistake I think leftovers can make that can end the game for them is they lose in the macro. If they're not on point with soaking the lane somehow and they can't kill enough members of Granit, then Samuro will eventually win the game. But that needs to come in a situation where as long as they play safe, maybe get a kill and hold their lanes, there's not enough damage, there's not enough kill potential, even with that Zeratul, unless you are able to get perfect VPs to isolate individual targets, no one's going to die on Leftovers side.
Yeah, no, of course, with Leftovers, we have all their eggs in the Tracer basket, basically. Yes. That's where most of the damage is going to come from. We have a lot of wave clear around Chen and Tassadar. Tassadar in particular can, of course, start to soften Taggart Zag as well. And I feel with this, once they gain a bit of an advantage, it's going to be easy for them to break through. The sustain on their end is pretty fantastic when they are trying to get a Dragonite. So for me, this is, again, coming down to can Granit Gaming put Samuro into the action, maybe hit level 20 to get that massive power spike on him. Yeah. And if that's the case, then I think through the macro game, they have a good shot here. But just from the teamfight potential, I believe... I've seen DAB in action, and I'm pretty terrified whenever he is not only on Tracer, he has also that kind of support.
Yeah. But these are questions that we are now going to be about to answer as we head into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is the European Crucible. Can Granit Gaming even up the score? Or will this team on the left be able to bring out a 2-1 lead here? It's Garrosh played by Lauber, Chen played by Potiboss, Tassadar by Blakitny, Tracer by DAB, and Stukov by Lynx. They are the Leftovers.
And over to the right side of the map, Granit Gaming with Minecraft on Hanzo, Alf on Muradin, Knappe on Uther. We have Raid Boss on Zeratul and Kieva on Samuro. A lot of clouds, by the way.
A lot of clouds. Happy clouds.
Also, when we're talking about Chen, I immediately have to give kudos to Potiboss. Best skin, best tint, War Master. You have to go for the white one. I can even forgive him for not running the money pick here with him.
It's pretty beastly. It's pretty good. Rip immediate mirror images, but they are a nice distraction. And I like the fact that Granit aren't taking the 5v5 at the start. It would be so risky for them.
So Raid Boss, of course, him being, so to say, the mastermind behind a lot of the drafts that Granit Gaming is running. And he has to really try and make this one work for his team right now. Now, they trusted him throughout the season, and he has to come through once again. We talked about his experience in HGC. This is the 3rd time that he finds himself just a step away from qualifying for HGC. He qualified with TGG in the past, and he also qualified with a diamond skin. Can he do it again?
It's going to be a lot of pressure, like you said, him on that Zeratul, going with that extra roamy hero with the Abathur last game. Already to get a little bit of pressure from the AB, a lot of pressure from the AB. Pulse bomb, Raid Boss goes down, no blink off cooldown, I guess. But Boss, in the meantime, is dominating this top lane. Elusive Brawler added onto the already great Chen sustain. Kurowa's going to have a rough lane.
Yeah, for sure. And already under pressure here. But let's talk a bit about DAB. We've highlighted how strong he is on Tracer. Again, a 60% win ratio on Tracer plays, and that put into relation to the 24% win ratio that leftovers have on average. So pretty beastly. In the first game, Granit Gaming banned out Tracer for exactly that reason. And we find ourselves now in one of these situations where you have a team deciding that they will make adjustments in game 2. That's what Granit Gaming is doing here, not banning Tracer out, instead opting for a MIF ban. But of course, at this point, if this continues with Tracer, DAB, already getting the early kill,
yep,
there's a very good chance that in the third game, Tracer is banned out again, unless they find a different opening.
Illusion and this getting out of there. Run, Kurowa! The mirror images has bought him time, but what? Oh, the last second Illusions. Mirror image, Kurowa's out, but now his lane is getting soaked against him. Double channel has begun for leftovers.
Did I mention that Kirva is, of course, also a rocket scientist? Calculated.
Calculated. Immediate protection. Nuffer moving in, punishing Loba there with a nice Hammer of Justice, and that will prevent the double channel. Good news as well, because Zeratul was getting 2v1'd in that mid lane, so the Dragon Knight could have gone over if they weren't on point there.
Now, of course, in the mid lane, we have the pressure on Tassadar, who needs to be careful. We talked about his hit point pool earlier. Down here, on the other hand, Lauba moving in, trying to go for Muradin, just trying to throw him off the point. But up at the top, Chen has done his thing and has started to push Samuro back again.
So, great control here. 1-for-1 currently. Kurowa takes some more damage, quickly swaps himself onto top, starts the channel. We'll get it at least, no, but actually gets prevented on the halfway point. So top still in control here of leftovers.
Yeah, down here, Lauba starting to take control as well. DAB still zipping around. And of course, once the Tassadar joins the fight up, the level 4 talent of Tassadar with the extra life leech is going to make it even easier for Tracer to make the moves. But we talked about the hit point pool on Tassadar, and there it is once again. But we have the double channel, and this is an opportunity to maybe get the first objective of the game.
Ulf can prevent this. Just no, he can't.
Oh my god.
Beautiful play by Linked. See ya, Ulf. He flies away as Linked guarantees his team a nice, cheeky Dragon Knight. First one of the game, and towers are now all on notice.
Linked with a perfect silence there, interrupting the Stormbolt attempt by Ulf. We already had DAB trying to stand in the way to just eat it and make sure that it doesn't hit Tassadar, but then the quick silence, not even allowing Muradin to throw it out here. So an early objective for the leftovers. And again, they are playing on the map that traditionally they've been extremely weak, but currently they're looking strong here.
They are looking beastly right now on this map, as we see the Dragon Knight rotating, looking for its 4th tower here. Illusion Master stacked up here, Way of the Illusion, getting a little bit of extra damage here for Samuro. That's going to be great for him as the game moves on.
I'm really liking the way that leftovers are playing this right now. I actually think one of the reasons why maybe in draft they were hesitating this much is that they expected a Tracer ban to happen again. Yeah. And that their originally planned strategy was just trying to play around that. And once they saw Tracer as available, they changed their setup slightly to accommodate that. Blikitnik going down. Nice attack at the top lane. Granit Gaming fighting back, showing some teeth here. And just showing leftovers that they're not going to simply roll over here and take it.
We really just keep mentioning it. Tassadar is a little bit squishy. Once that dimensional shift is gone, he does have trouble.
Abathar's also squishy.
He is very squishy. He is a slug. As we see Raid Boss with the help of Nafe taking out this mercenary camp. That's going to put some pressure onto top lane as leftovers not responding with anything on terms of their own bruiser camp yet.
Yeah, Chen by now with a Bolt of Flavor on level 7. Fantastic talent for the hero. Getting the Insta Shield is just so powerful in any fight. The Deadly Strike on level 4. And we're talking about Garrosh, Lauba here just on screen. Then of course on level 4 it's Indomitable. Having that self-cleanse available for you, especially when you're going up against someone like Muradin with the initiation, is incredibly powerful. Now for Blikitnik, the level 7 talent is going to be a super important one. Having the Psionic Protection available to you after level 7 makes it much easier for you to wave clear because you have the extra range on the storms. But more importantly, when you're playing with the Tracer composition, you have a much easier time of throwing these shields out and saving Tracer whenever DAB is going to try and go for that kill.
Ulf able to leap away from the extra damage. Boss starting to have trouble. Zeratul, a good rotation up here to help Kurowa. That actually puts on a huge amount of pressure, especially since we have Phantom Pain from Kurowa here. to give a huge amount of extra damage. And Chen, though, now going to be incredibly hard to gank and kill as Minecraft eats a bomb, but quick heal up. Massive shove, the Earth Storm Fire going to be crazy hard to kill anyone. Rainbow, though, taking a lot of damage. Does he have Blink? Yes, he does. Panda's not able to leap over the wall.
But that immediately put the pressure on Raidboss, and it's a bit of a theme in the game so far. He has been targeted every time he shows himself. The immediate focus on Zeratul. And there are not really a lot of hit point heavy heroes on the side of Granit Gaming outside of Muradin. Now, of course, the illusions that Samuro provides definitely cause a lot of distraction, but in a lot of these fights, we have seen Squishies targeted right away. Level 10, though, has hit, and that is starting to make things a bit easier on the side of Samuro in particular with the Illusion Master. So now that you have actually a bit more control available to you.
Yep, he's now going to be a global hero as DAB eats a cleave from Raidboss. Has to be healed up, but he's getting chunked. These scatter arrows, good value so far. And Cowdor, I'm going to be honest, despite the level lead, Raidboss blinked in the way of the Pulse Bomb. Dragon Arrow! Granit Gaming moving in, looking for McKitney. They can't get him, though. A little bit too far away. But that kill was beautiful. The save on the Hanzo was beautiful. Just really solid play there.
I really like the way that Granit Gaming presents themselves here right now. The early game, definitely something where leftovers had the early Dragonite. That was definitely a setback and something where Granit Gaming was probably quite unhappy because they expected to be able to interrupt there. But now they are doing fairly well. And leftovers, they might still hold on to a slight experience lead and have taken a few more structures down. But they're really starting to struggle a lot more than they personally probably expected.
Vision gained, Lorber falls back, Poti eats several Samuro hits. Nice little juke, holding one back just in case he needs a quick teleport out. We see the pressure is starting to get piled on here. Ulf leaps away before the silence. Double channel. Can Zeratul win the Protoss war? Oh, Kura's in danger. Quick, immediate triple with the illusions here. He's going to have to teleport out. It takes far too much damage.
Yeah, Putibos is going to claim this one, and there shouldn't be a problem with the interrupt.
Oh, such a good idea, but just too slow. Oh! VP to save him from the top. It's perfectly timed! 4-man stun looking for Tracer, but she's quickly recalling back. And the follow-up just not there. Raidboss takes huge damage. Blink is on cooldown, tries to blink away. Raidboss gets out, immediately on top 5, trying to push forward to get the counter kill onto Tracer as they start to turn it around, Cowdor.
Raidboss gets away, but Tracer goes down. Great play here from Granit Gaming again. But leftovers also initially saving Tracer after the VP combo with the arrow was not successful. Great reaction by DAB in particular, but then they can't confirm the kill against Zeratul and they lose Tracer regardless. But of course the Divine Shield being used to try and sneak the channel in, that didn't work out. Lauber now saved as Link goes for the massive shot, but Zeratul, he's going for the Dragonite, and this time he gets it.
Granit Gaming showing up here. Leftovers, they were looking so good in the early game, but they're starting to show a bit of weakness here, Cowdor. You mentioned the map could be the issue, and Granit Gaming, their instant turnarounds have been such a big deal in this game. Dragonite charges back in, doing his best Varian impression.
And of course, the level 13 talents are super important here because Healing Static is just absolutely fantastic right now. And let's not only talk about Healing Static, we talked about the late game. That's what concerns me more than anything else, because once you're in a setup where Samuro hits his 20, it's going to be really tough. Now, one of the things that definitely is going to work in favor of leftovers is that they have nullification available now. That's great against Zeratul. We even have Ricochet taken as a level 13 talent for Tracer. And Link himself also has now with a Virulent Reaction, a tool that can just lock someone in place. But with everything that we've seen in these fights...
Dragon Arrow moving in, the taunt and silence. Very quick reactions there.
Minecraft was attacked here again, but what I was just about to say is he had a lot of space to work with.
Yeah.
Hanzo in this game is shielded by Samuro just creating illusions everywhere, Zeratul putting pressure onto the backline. So Hanzo hasn't really found himself in a spot where he's threatened, and that allows him to dish out a ton of damage here and have a huge impact in these fights.
It is interesting. Another interesting point as well is the Ricochet. There's a pretty good chance that a lot of these Ricochet shots will be eaten up by mirror images. Bullet Spray could have been a little bit more consistent damage to the actual heroes, but you have an Uther on the enemy team, as we see Uther no longer... Oh, yes, he is still on the enemy team. He drops the Divine Shield, trying to pull back, dodges the stun.
No way!
Firestorm, Nupper gets out. What a clutch D-Shield. Ulf stomps away. Wow.
Zeratul more so. That Void Prison saved him.
Yeah.
Great play by Raid Boss again, coming through for the team here. I actually feel that Ricochet, the reason why it's been chosen is to take down some of these copies.
Makes sense. I will say, honestly, that was so good. And I agree with your point there. The mirror images, if you can take them down, they're so annoying to have to focus them down. If you have something that can just take them down as an afterthought, pretty good here. And the Ricochet is a good pick that. You're 100% right.
Hanzo, by the way, just to give you guys a few numbers here for Granit Gaming, is one of the most successful heroes for the team. 7 wins and only 2 losses. So Minecraft here coming through so far with the hero as well. But this is now the setup that we've been talking about during the draft. If you gain momentum, you can do so much. And they take the fort at the bot lane, but they lose the one at the top. And you can't really leave a Samuro alone on lane with a camp like this, especially when he also has a Zeratul around. Like, this is hurting a lot.
For it. Chen's the only one even close. Everyone else has had their port stop.
He can get that.
The keep is going down. Minecraft, they attempted counter move here. Immediate wall drop, but now Nappa's in danger. Getting toward it. Surprise, Granit misses the Storm Bolt. Dragon Arrow comes in, but is it enough? Nappa gets tossed in. That's a nice move. But DAB, huge damage from Zeratul, who has to wormhole out, gets away thanks to the recall. Top lane is still taking damage while all this is going on, but into the fray saves Link.
Okay, there is so much to talk about here. First of all, look at that keep. Leftovers completely underestimating the push power through Samuro here with that camp, so they nearly get the keep. That was a bad trade for Leftovers then in the end. The reaction a bit too slow, but they get the kill against Uther. And I have to say again, DAB, I mean, holy cow, that guy's all over the place. It was insane how he saved himself there and zipped through. They get the kill against Uther, but that was a hard-fought one as well. 2 kills against 3. This game is definitely on the wire, and Granit Gaming by now even in the lead slightly with experience.
Samuro continuing to monkey around in the top lane, pushing up the lane as quick as possible. So hard to deal with. Leftovers trying to make the most of the man advantage here, just moving into bot lane. They will grab this Bruiser camp, no question about that. Kura's already teleported away, second Pokey showed up, but losing one of your heroes to just defending top lane is such a big deal. This will be taken before Chen scouts it. Actually, it's going to be pretty close.
Great call regardless. I mean, Chen cannot hold this long enough. He tried. But that might have been a little bit too much, even with Blake Kidney there.
Fire?
He needs to go for the ult. He doesn't. He goes down.
He goes down indeed. There's a Dragon Arrow from downtown. Lands on Blakitney. Void Prism. This is a retreating Void Prism. This is not a counter engage. They've got their kill. They're done.
Arrow is out. You can't. Not only the kill, they got the camp too.
Yeah.
But with the Void Prism being used, your Arrow is out already. There's no potential for a setup here. But still, Chen going for that was, I think, a bit of a mistake. I think it was one of those panic moments when you see, oh my god, they're taking our camp. I need to do something about it. But it was a fantastic call from Granit Gaming. I absolutely loved that call because they saw that the bottom was taken. There's the sneak on the Dragon Knight. Interrupted! Not perfectly timed here, and it gets interrupted, and Chen is back in 4 seconds. Garrosh is attacked here, but we have now the bottom defended by Hanzo. He had to peel off because there's a camp headed towards the keep. The same is happening at the top lane, where Chen now come back, needs to try and get the wave clear before he joins up with the rest of the team.
Nolba, the timing god on that toss. But like you said, the lane control is becoming a big issue for Leftovers here.
And there's so much happening just in general. I mean, these fights, the calls that we're seeing from Granit Gaming are great. And at this point, they are starting to take even more of an experience lead. The constant pressure on the top lane is such a big concern for Leftovers now. They are looking to see if they can maybe win a fight somewhere, if they can get these kills. But the Samuro factor is starting to pay more and more dividends for Granit Gaming.
Yeah, and guess what? This mid-lane push is a distraction. Real Samuro, now with his buddies, is continuing to put pressure on the top lane. It's now all down to bot lane. The Dwarf Toss is still taunted, so he's still in danger. There's the Pulse Bomb here. Can Uther save Spirit? There's the Avatar. Doesn't even need to. Turning it around. Lauba takes huge damage here, but the Scatter Arrow, not enough.
Still a good job here with forcing Avatar to be used by Olf, and that was nearly a kill. The body blocks and the silence were absolutely fantastic here. And it showcases that while we're talking so much about Granit Gaming's pressure on the map, and how Leftovers need to be careful so that they don't lose out on a keep or get just simply cheesed on one of the Dragon Knights, at the same time, there's a lot of kill pressure from Leftovers, where Granit Gaming could lose something. And here, finally, we have the move that I was waiting on for a long time right now. Just sneaking past it and committing to the keep. And that's very likely to go down now.
Yep, Mercenaries are in. Zeratul can just wormhole this if he wants to. Chen's given up. He's out. Yeah. He leaves this one to go down. And that's the first keep of the game, thanks to Kurwa.
And more so because Leftovers underestimated the earlier push with Samura at the top lane. They thought they could trade the the fort at the bot lane and then rotate back up to defend it, and that was not the case. So a misjudgment on Leftovers' side cost them a keep now in the end, and Granit Gaming is about to hit level 20. And if they now get the Dragonite, all of a sudden we have the potential to go for core, because you have a Dragonite and you have Samuro and you have Zeratul that can Void Prison and buy a couple of additional seconds.
Then the core is just dead. So you can just walk in. Even though it's the Bridge of Death, top lane is then a huge danger. Poti takes a huge amount of damage from Minecraft there and from a little help from Raid Boss as well. There's the Pulse Bomb onto Muradin. He's already out though.
Yeah. They're trying to get the early pressure in so that Granit Gaming can't really fight, that they're hesitant to fight here. But Granit Gaming has 20 now, and that's really the moment when you want to make your plays. And this is also where Samuro becomes even scarier.
Poti takes so much damage face-checking the bush, but he's 10. He is very tanky and hard to deal with. As bot, once again channeled by Samuro. Guess who can't do anything about it? It's Leftovers.
And we just had Bullseye also coming in play for Minecraft. Took Bullseye on 20 with Hanzo, and it stunned out Chen. So it's actually cool because it adds an additional stun whenever Chen says, hey, I'm getting my shield, I'm drinking now. So whenever he starts that and you are quick with it, you can immediately get the stun in there as well.
Yeah, it increases the travel speed as well, which is why it makes it a better immediate reaction tool. Really good, actually pointed that out. That is actually a really big deal considering how low amount of CC they have that isn't very close range.
Exactly, so you have a really good point there. And also, of course, if you have an additional stun already, you can just add that, you can just stack them. Now the attempt to go for the second keep, and that's an important one. Can somehow Leftovers lock that down? They have the softening up already with the shields. There comes the Dragonite down to 50%. They should be able to save that keep though.
Bomb was used on the Dragonite here, who is now going to pull it back. While this is happening though, guess who's pushing all of the other lanes? Top lane's already been cleared once. Kurwa goes for another attempt on mid, takes down a tower as the Dragonite just continues to not even just go in, just Fire Breath. Second they move away to deal with Samuro, moves in, single Fire Breath, moves out. It's the perfect distraction play.
And here's level 20.
Finally,
so now, we have level 20 for Leftovers, but again, we come back to the same problem. We have level 20 now also for Samuro, and this is where Kurwa can really just start dominating this. What Leftovers need, they need kills. They need kills and snowball off them. So they are looking for fights very aggressively, as you can see here. Already the arrow out in the back line. Tassad's in trouble, but also Stukov, and Stukov goes down. Can they get the counter kill? That's the big question. Already the Void Prison coming out from Zeratul as the Raid Boss is trying to get away. Well, he's nearly falling, but he's able to blink away in the last moment.
The AB takes crazy damage from Samuro, but the fact that they're alive, the taunt is really good. Down goes Muradin, silent so he couldn't avatar. The Khalif from Zeratul chugs Leftovers. Minecraft is now just on a shooting range, looks for another, but can't reach. Down goes Chen.
Is
3
down.
for 1.
Lauber taking the hit for DAB. 4 down, and that has a... I mean, what are they going to do with this? I actually expected them to maybe even go for core, but they should at least go for keep.
Wow.
They go for core.
They're looking for it. They're looking for DAB. DAB trying to land the shot. They move on for the core. They're going to try to take it down. They've got Samuro. The damage output is crazy. Here comes DAB. Last-ditch effort, but with Uther here, there's nothing he can do. GG! And the score evens up to 1-1. Great win by Granit Gaming.
Granit Gaming with a victory against the Tracer composition. And I have to come back to questioning the map pick. Fantastic map for Granit Gaming. They proved it again, and bad map for the Leftovers. Now, I haven't